Oh, you gonna stop your singing?
I have control of the edit, sir.
That's funny. All right, fair enough.
Will know nothing.
Hey, I heard you. Yo. Welcome. Look at my vibe real quick, man.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna recognize these in a second. Get a bomb, man. Let me get a bomb, man. Yeah.
It was coming.
I know. Yo. I be having fun with these little sound effects, man. I ain't gonna hold you.
I know. I've noticed. I've absolutely noticed.
Yo. Welcome to another episode of the Gentlemen's Club podcast. Do you happen to know what episode this is gonna be?
70.
Oh shit, episodes. 72. Okay.
Yeah, we out there, man.
Okay. Welcome to episode 72 of the Gentlemen's Club podcast. I am your boy Cardell, aka Pedialyte Poppy.
Yo.
Sorry.
It's all good. Hey guys, it's me, Zach, aka Podcast Poppy. Again, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Gentlemen's Club podcast. If you have not already, please hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we upload new episodes, which is on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Gang.
Let's get into it, man.
First of all, how are you?
Phenomenal.
Okay.
Wonderful.
All right.
Blessed.
You looking good, and you got your fall gear coming out. It's your time to shine.
It hit me a little hard.
Okay.
I realized how inequipped I was for this season. I have some stuff I haven't worn in years that like still looks good. So
Yeah.
I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm still inequipped for
I got
season.
you. No, I definitely gotta re-up some things. But this is my favorite time of year. My time to shine, get my shit off. You know what I'm saying? Summertime is cool, but there's certain fits that it's just what you gonna do: shirt, shorts, shirt and jeans. You know what I'm saying?
Right? Yeah. You can only wear the same T-shirt like so many times.
That's true. If anybody knows, I know.
And you can't get away with just a plain black tee anymore. It doesn't.
Right.
People start to say things.
Yeah, that's true. But when you buy, I got like 6 of the same ones. Mm-hmm. So eventually, either I look poor or I just have a lot of the same shirts.
So that's why I don't go out.
I understand. Yeah, it's tough, man. And you don't have to be on camera either. It's great.
Oh yeah. Darn. Just
Right. All right. I saw something on the internet.
In nets.
Yeah. It was an interesting thing that I saw, and I saw a lot of mixed responses. So this woman posted something. We'll reveal who the woman is later because it'll be able to tie into the next subject.
For sure.
This woman says 2 days after I met a guy on a dating app, we hadn't met in person. He woke up and randomly Apple paid me $30 for lunch. And she says, maybe I'm bugging, but I felt like that was so weird. Why are you sending me money and we haven't even met yet? I know it was only $30, but it still felt flashy as fuck.
See, I'm glad you didn't bring this to my attention because I don't know how I feel about this.
Okay.
I can see both sides of it.
I can too. One of the responses was, you might be bugging, sis. It's a nice gesture. I used to be the same way, but this is why guys don't like being nice. They get called weird for doing nice things. Let him treat you.
That is a fact.
You deserve it. And I really like that comment.
Of course, it's pro men.
Yeah. Because I can say that I've been there.
Yeah.
I've definitely been there. And this is even with, I think the reason why I was somewhat with the original text is because 2 days is somewhat of a short window.
Absolutely.
It is somewhat of a short window. Mm-hmm. But at the same point in time, think about it like this. Because we're doing a lot of things on the internet, right? Mm-hmm. After you do meet somebody and you guys have been conversating, the next thing is to set up a date, correct?
That's how it's supposed to go.
Okay, so normally would you be interested in grabbing something to eat? Usually starting off with coffee or something early in the day, lunch. That's usually not a bad start. Maybe that's somewhat of an icebreaker. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the way that I was thinking of it. Hey, I hope you have a good day. Maybe not lunch, but hey, I hope you have a good day today. Grab yourself a coffee on the way to work or whatever it is that you're doing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? At least that's where I'm thinking that the guy might have been coming from.
Sounds like a great move to me.
I thought so as well. But the other side is that time frame.
It's weirdo sending me money.
Yeah, but it's $30, and usually if we're even, that's not a lot of money. That usually is lunch. You know, depending on what you eat and where you're going. Now, if I sent you 100 off the bat, that's a red flag, in my personal opinion.
This reminds me, there is a Venmo story that I want to tell, but we're gonna tell this on the back end.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's such a small dollar amount, I don't like. There's no harm in it. There's no like, hey, like, are there dudes that probably think that $30 buys them a certain level of anything with a woman? Probably. I don't think that this was the case. I would like to think that.
Yeah.
Now, if it was like $300, something along those lines,
right?
Like, yeah, no, like like you should go out with me now because I gave you $300.
That is the mentality behind it.
That is toxic. That's egotistical,
and that's a major
run away from that. But it's like,
sure.
yo, you know what? Let me send you $30. Let's go out to lunch. Yada yada yada.
Right.
But we'll say this: if you're sending her $30 for you guys to go out to lunch, wouldn't it just be easier to pay for the lunch when you got
True.
there?
No, I get you. But no, this was just for her.
Oh, for her.
Just for, hey, grab yourself lunch today. I hope you have a good day.
I mean, if you're successful enough in life that you can do that, go ahead and do it. If that's what you feel, if that's how you want to get your stuff off, I will say this from a man's perspective.
Yeah.
Be careful in doing that.
I think
because
so
you
too.
are sending the wrong message.
True. Maybe I know, like in Cash App or certain things, you can send what it's for.
Be careful with that because you are still sending the wrong message.
I understand. I completely understand.
And I mean that by you're setting yourself up for that being the basis of your relationship is you sending money and they come to expect that.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, there are relationships that are perfectly fine with that. But if you are just now, if you're 2 days in,
yeah, that's a little high to be.
You're begging to get played.
Yeah, you're gonna make yourself a lollipop, and you're gonna be a sucker for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. 2 days is way too early. I'd say maybe after, if you guys are talking on the phone, you're doing the FaceTime thing, maybe, you haven't gotten a chance to get together yet. And you start doing that, let's say that you guys got finished having a conversation. It went all the way into late night. All right, have a good night. Man, you still on that high from that conversation. You wake up in the morning, man, I hope she has a great day. Here's the coffee. I think a little bit more time makes that situation less awkward and uncomfortable for women.
For sure.
But I don't know. It was something interesting, and I saw it was divided. Some women were saying, "Oh no, what are you $30 for just like some lunch? Like you tripping?" And some people were saying like after 2 days, nah, we haven't met yet.
Yeah, I can absolutely see both sides of it, and I think you're setting a terrible precedent for yourself because now, granted, the woman in question is not a person of this character. I do not believe. I don't know them personally, obviously.
Right.
But again, you send that to a quote unquote gold digger. She found her mark,
and you see that, and that's the other side of it, right? Guys don't like doing nice gestures because they're weirdos, and then there's the other side where women are looking for a mark, and they get you. And then you realize that you're just being played. Like, you can't take her out until you send her money for the outfit, babysitter, and making sure that you're covering absolutely everything for the date.
My first dates were always either coffee or just go out for a round of drinks.
Yeah, like an open place where it could work out for anybody.
And it was like, let's go out, we'll do a round.
Right.
If at the end of the round
you're done,
we're not feeling it,
then we can just roll
separate,
out.
whatever.
Right, well, I'm at a decent spot anyway. I can find something to do.
There's no heavy obligation. Right, yeah. There's no heavy obligation. If you decide you want to up and leave, I'm in an environment where I could still have a good time by myself.
Right.
And from a financial standpoint, this hasn't cost me more than $30.
Exactly.
Because when you do that extravagant, let's go to dinner and then this afterwards.
Now you mad because you done spent $300 on this date and it's not going to work out.
Which I'm not saying that that's not a bad first date, but especially when you're meeting online and you don't really know the individual, you might want to kind of take it back and slow walk it till you get to those steps.
Right.
Especially if you're a serial dater. That shit gets expensive quick.
Absolutely.
Quick.
Absolutely. Yeah, so, all right, for sure. Just curious on what you thought about that.
So would you like to reveal the woman's name?
Yeah. So the woman who tweeted that was Marissa Mendez, and for those of you guys who might not know, she was a part of the original start of the Joe Budden podcast, what it's known today, but at the time it was I'll name this podcast later. It was Joe Budden, Rory, and Marissa Mendez.
Humble beginnings.
Humble beginnings.
Ish.
Yeah. But it was interesting. It was very fun. But the reason why I wanted to bring that name in is because somebody else was making headlines yet again, Mr. Budden himself.
He can't stay out of headlines.
Nah.
And it's not for, I mean, it's the things that I'm sure he doesn't want to be in the headlines for.
True, and the wild part is it's what the internet and social blog sites do with certain things, man. The clickbait is getting a little bit too obvious and a little corny in my personal. It's always been corny, but it's like y'all reaching a little bit. Mm-hmm. Y'all really reaching a little bit. The Jada thing was somewhat of a reach. They reached on that one and tried to make that sound worse than what it actually was, which I know that's what they do.
Right.
But when you actually get into it, you be like, oh. and you know what I'm saying? You feel.
But if I remember correctly, Jada released that clip like that.
I don't know, man. I don't know who released what. I just be on the internet and I be seeing shit.
Because like when it started circulating around, the episode wasn't out yet.
Right.
So I would think Jada has creative control over how that clip gets released.
But
I understand.
You get the point I'm trying to make. So it was coming out that Joe came out and said that he was that he's bisexual.
Which I saw this article.
Right.
I read the article.
Right.
I watched the clip associated with the article.
Right.
And I immediately text you.
Yeah.
But I haven't watched the JBP in months.
Right, of course.
And I text you. I said, yo, this is a reach, isn't it?
And I responded back, yes, period. And that was it, man. They were talking about the baby.
That makes so much more sense.
Exactly. They were talking about the baby. And from what I understand, the baby is or was back on tour through Rolling Loud.
I just want to quickly point this out. He survived cancel culture.
Yes. But there's a little bit more behind that. There is a specific group, and I wish I remembered the name, and I meant to remember the name. I promise, guys, I will do better. There is an organization that is a very big organization in the LGBT plus community, right? Q plus community. Forgive me, I'm still learning to talk about these matters on a consistent basis. But I guess they put out a statement speaking to that the baby had learned his lesson and is now free to tour. And obviously Rolling Loud was the place where that original incident happened where he said those things. So they had now deemed it okay for him to travel and tour, and it was sponsored by Rolling Loud. And they went into a long conversation about that. And basically at the end of it all, Joe was like, man, fuck it. I'm coming out as bisexual. I'm coming out.
Okay.
And the reason is because seemingly if you are a part of that community, you have access to things. You have access to things, and you can't be penalized for things that you might say that they consider offensive, because we were talking about this. It becomes a slippery slope.
For sure. And
one side has power and can deem anybody that they don't like what they're saying as we don't like it, and slow up your money and slow up your business. They did it to the baby. They did it to Dave.
They did it to Michael Myers.
They did it to Michael Myers. Like, I don't know if they're going to get another Halloween. Michael Myers is still alive, and I don't know if we're going to see that sequel brought to an end.
That's so stupid. And I don't mean to laugh, but it's stupid.
It is. It doesn't make any sense, man. And it's
killed everyone he got in front of.
Right.
But no, to go back, to circle back to the topic. I want to touch on the baby real quick, because I did see that the baby was back on tour, and I did see that was sponsored by Rolling Loud.
Right.
And I will tell you exactly what I saw from my eyes.
Okay.
And how I interpreted the situation.
Okay.
The label paid for some shit, donated some money, because the baby is too valuable of an artist to just say, well, I guess you're canceled. There are artists that do get canceled, and the label will look and say, "Oh, it was a good run.
It was a good run, man, but you're not bringing in that much bread. We'd probably do better without you. We might lose some business if we continue to stand next to you."
Right.
So we wish you luck in your future endeavors.
Yeah. Try going independent.
That's everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
So
It's the only time you'll ever hear a record label tells you to go independent.
You should go independent.
But in this situation, because this will probably settle the score as far as is Baby a pop star or not. That's a pop star button.
Yeah, that is a pop star button. I'll give you that 1,000%.
So now, regardless of if the baby legitimately has any level of remorse and if he's learned anything or has he become a better person behind all this,
right?
I'm not going to question any of that. That's not my business to question. I won't do that.
Yeah, that's between him and him.
But I know when a record label gets involved, I can see that clear as day.
True.
And a record label, if they see money opportunities for the foreseeable future, they will do whatever they have to, and they will get in front of whoever they need to sit in front of and say, how much money do we need to write on this check for you to allow your community to say for you to tell your community it's okay,
right? Give them a pass. Let them through.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. It was just really interesting, just because when you think about the kind of power that's there.
Absolutely.
If somebody can literally stop millions of dollars entering into your pocket, that's a different level of power, a different level of control.
Yeah.
Even though it might come off to seemingly be behind the right reasons and somewhat justified from their perspective. But it was just really interesting to see, and that's where all of that came from. Basically, it was just like, yo, if I come out as, hey, I'm one of y'all. If I come out as bisexual, I'm one of y'all. So if I said something wrong, that's my fault. We can talk about it. I'll see you at the meeting. But after that, I want to still be able to continue to get my bread.
So the second part of this is directed at Joe.
Yes.
Mr. Button.
Yes.
My advice to him, and obviously he's not going to take my advice. I don't know if he should.
Okay.
I would be very careful because though the blogs took it and they put their spin on it.
Yeah. When you look into it, you can get the actual context of what he was saying.
Yes. That
might be offensive.
Joe's not Teflon. If anything this last year has showed us,
he's just a zombie and he keeps getting back up from the dead.
And one of these times it's gonna stick. And that is my advice to Joe is I would begin to caution yourself because every week you look worse in certain lights. Okay.
Now here's one thing that Joe is still close to that community.
Fair.
That's why I think, because obviously it was a joke and they took it and ran with it. But he's like, no, get that message out there.
Wait. Let's take a step back.
Okay.
He's close with people that are a part of that community. He's not close with that community.
That's more so I like to say. Thank you for the correction.
Because if you're close with that community, then you're Teflon as far as that community is concerned.
Okay.
I don't believe Joe to be that.
Okay. And I wouldn't have the information either, but everything that I've gathered watching Joe and some of the people that he's been around, it's basically, it's like, give a better example. Some of us, gang culture was big when we were in high school.
For sure.
Very big. Everybody that I know is somewhat affiliated or has tied to some type of gang. That allows you to move in certain areas that you normally wouldn't be able to move in.
Allegedly.
True. If you know the right people, it does.
Allegedly.
You're right. So that's kind of the space that I'm coming from.
For sure.
That's what if that helps.
No, yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean from that standpoint, but I'm not sure that Joe has those kind of connections when it comes to the LGBTQ plus community.
Okay.
So again, and it only takes one person to take it offensive. You know how this works.
Yeah, you're right.
It just takes one person.
Yeah, absolutely.
One person takes it offensive, and then you have the rest of the community on your ass.
That's a fact.
And I guess I'll say it like this: Dave Chappelle is the perfect example of having somebody that is a part of that community being on your side, and the community as a whole still not fucking with you.
That's a very strong, good point. I'm with that. I'm with that.
So I guess that's really all I'm trying to say.
Be careful.
Yeah, just be careful because I know it's jokes and some sometimes there's time for jokes, sometimes there isn't. I'm not going to say that this is or is not, but I will say this: Joe has been taking hits from a public standpoint. Well, pretty much his entire career.
Yeah, that's a fact.
But he's been at his highest high in the last 2 years.
Okay.
And finally, the perception on Joe Budden was starting to change. And then slowly but surely,
some more things keep popping up.
Yeah, which at first it looked like a smear campaign from the outside.
Yeah,
got through that, and then some things from the inside
that started
came
happening
to the outside.
Yeah,
and then it was like,
yeah. It's been a rough go.
Yeah, the last 6 months specifically, it's like, dude, you can't risk another PR nightmare.
I'm with you on that.
You can't.
Yeah, I think I'd be with you on that.
Because the next major, and I mean, especially when you come to one of the major communities, you take one more major PR nightmare where you got a whole community against you. That might be it.
Yeah, you might not ever get back up from that.
Yeah.
But he's a zombie, man. He keeps rising from the dead.
Somebody gonna figure out the headshot eventually.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Another thing that I don't have much knowledge about, but let's talk about this Aaron Rodgers thing. Can you inform me?
Okay. I apologize to those that do not like when I talk sports on this podcast. I'm aware of it. I get the message. So Aaron Rodgers, starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. Boo. He tested positive for COVID.
Okay.
And he is ineligible to return to the facility for at least 5 days.
Okay.
In that news breaking, it became known that Aaron Rodgers is not vaccinated. I will personally say this now. I'm not going to get into the conversation about vaxxed and unvaxxed. I'm not going to do that today.
We've done a great job of staying away from that.
Somehow.
Man, crazy.
And we will
continue.
We will continue to do such. I will not disclose if I am or am not vaccinated. I'll let you guess, and you're right. Whatever you decide.
I'm with you on that.
So it quickly became known that he was unvaccinated, and it became this big stir because I guess the NFL was under the assumption that he was vaccinated because I think he called himself immune. So he was very
specific in his choice of words?
Very specific in his choice of words, and very much so trying to make sure he avoided things that were of the nature of, yeah, I'm vaxxed.
Okay.
So with that being said, nobody thought anything of it until, his vax status comes out. He's unvaxxed. He goes on to the Pat McAfee show.
Okay.
And basically goes on to this this rant about science.
And then it turned into a anti-vax conversation?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
And now, Aaron Rodgers was very clear. He was not advocating for either a Republican or a Democratic standpoint. He said, I believe his words were, I'm not going to get off of this show and go straight to Fox News, nor am I going to go to CNN. I think both of them are full of shit.
Okay.
So it's not a political stance, and he made that very clear. But I guess he had a partnership, and that's what I was looking for right now. He had a partnership with a Wisconsin-based health organization that announced yesterday that they would be cutting ties with each other.
Yikes.
So this has become, I guess, from the standpoint that, and we didn't really talk about it. The standpoint that we were looking at it is compared to Kyrie Irving.
Yeah. Okay.
So Kyrie Irving was crucified by basically every sports network for saying that I'm not getting vaxxed because it's a choice, and I'm the voice for those that don't want to stand up and say anything.
Right.
And Kyrie Irving has not been allowed to play for the Brooklyn Nets, which people are saying is unfair. Why is it Kyrie Irving isn't allowed to play, but Aaron Rodgers is allowed to play? Let me address that right now.
Okay.
One, it's two completely different sports with different rules.
I strongly agree on that.
And two, Kyrie Irving is not allowed to play for the Brooklyn Nets because of a legal mandate in the city of New York.
Ah, okay.
You cannot be in a public area if you are unvaxxed in the city of New York.
Okay.
And for those that are saying, what about the Giants and the Jets? And I'm sure that there are players on both of those teams that are unvaxxed. The Giants and the Jets play in New Jersey.
Ah, rules are different.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me touch all that right there.
Right.
So yes, Kyrie is not allowed to play right now. He is technically eligible to play for road games, but the Brooklyn Nets have taken the stance of, we don't want you eligible for only half of the games that we play.
It's either in or out.
It's either you're in or you're out, because what it's going to do is going to fuck up our chemistry. We can't game plan for one game this way and then another game the other way.
That makes sense.
It's a headache that doesn't necessarily need to be there. So they said, when you're ready to figure out what it is that you want to do, you let us know, and we'll make moves accordingly.
Okay.
Realistically, what's going to happen with Kyrie Irving, he's going to get traded to a place where he can play a majority of the games, except for when he plays in, I believe it is in the city of Golden State and in New York, but he'll be able to play everywhere else.
They're going to need him for Golden State, though. They're going to need him for that Golden State game.
They're still going to lose. So I think as far as Kyrie's concerned, there is a plan in place. They're just not talking about it. As far as Aaron Rodgers is concerned, there is no team in the NFL where this rule affects him. So the obvious comparison is the San Francisco 49ers, because, they play in San Francisco just like Golden State does.
Right.
No, they don't. They play 20 miles south of San Francisco. So even still, there's not an NFL team that has that mandate in their stadium based off of a city ordinance.
Okay, I got you.
So there's not an NFL stadium where an unvaxxed player is ineligible to play.
Wow. Okay.
So for everybody saying, well, why is Kyrie getting crucified compared to Aaron Rodgers not getting crucified? Because there's not a mandate in any way, shape, or form outside of him actually contracting COVID.
Right.
That's going to stop him from being able to play.
Gotcha.
Compared to Kyrie Irving, that is very much so the case. He plays for a team that is in a city where he cannot play,
right,
if he is unvaxxed.
Okay.
That immediately makes you ineligible for half of the games that you play.
Right.
And then you also have the New York Knicks, which are on your schedule, so that takes you out of 4 more games.
Right.
If you play in Golden State, that makes you ineligible for 1 more game. So more than half of the games you can't play in.
Right. Okay. All right.
I'm not going to go around at that point, from an organizational standpoint, I'm not going to play this back and forth game with you, because you're not even eligible for more than half of the games that we're going to play.
Right.
You don't have any power in that situation.
It makes sense.
So
thank you for clearing that up. That was very informational.
That's what I'm here for. I do research sometimes, guys.
All right. Fair enough.
Very few.
We have a little bit more sad news to tap into just a little bit.
Yeah.
So recently, Travis Scott had, I believe it's the Astroworld Festival, 3-day festival. Some of this information was just coming out last night and the night before, whenever you might be hearing this. I guess when there was like 50,000 people at this festival. For those who don't know, Travis Scott puts on amazing shows. He's a absolute headliner in every sense of the word. So any event that he's going to put together is going to be thousands and thousands of people that are going to show up every single day. I guess from what I understand at this event, I don't know if I think he was performing. Someone was performing. The crowd rushed and people got trampled. People got hurt. From what I understand, 8 people died.
Yeah.
Ranging from ages 14 to 27. There's also this rumor that's going around that there are people that are saying that somebody in the crowd went crazy and started running around injecting people with some kind of drug.
So the police chief of Houston actually confirmed that a security guard did get injected in the neck with some kind of drug. They did not disclose what the drugs were, but that was confirmed by the Houston police chief.
Okay. I guess the show went on for another 30 minutes before the show was actually stopped. And a lot of people were upset about that, but I don't think people are really thinking about, you're at a festival. There are 50,000 plus people at this festival.
It becomes about public safety more so than anything else at that point.
Right, but you got to think about it. You're on this giant stage performing this music, right? And yeah, you can have fans and people like a hand wave and going crazy and you yelling at me. That's a part of the show.
Yeah.
I can't really differentiate between an emergency or you just going crazy because it's me.
Right.
So I saw a couple of people speaking to that. That's kind of hard to do at a large show like that, to stop everything and know that there's an emergency. The officials have to come in and make sure that gets shut down. They pass word on to you, in between songs, be like, yo, Scott, come here, gotta shut the show down. So I kind of wanted to get that out the way
For sure.
and clear that up. But that's really sad and unfortunate. Again, like we were talking about in the previous episode, going out and doing social things is really changing. It's different. Obviously, mass shootings has become a regular thing in this country, but random acts of violence or unfortunate things happening, this is becoming a thing. Like, we're stepping back outside and people still got issues, and the ugly stuff that happens in our country and in this world are still going to happen.
Yeah. And
like you said, we just glad to be outside. And we want to get back to some type of normalcy, but these things are still going to happen.
Absolutely.
And I don't have any other words about it. Obviously, more information is still going to come out at some point, but it's unfortunate, man. Actually, when we were out, I was talking to JP about it. He's just like, bro, what do you think about all of this stuff that's going on? And I'd be like, to be honest with you, bro, I'm glad that they're showing shows. You can stream shows now. Big festivals like this, you can stream those shows, man. Mm-hmm. I've never been one of those kind of people. I've always wanted to go do a Rolling Loud or some type of festival thing, Lollapalooza, whatever. It's cool, but at the same point in time, I'd be lying if I said I'm not scared of some type of random act of violence to happen.
Right.
People are getting shot left and right. People are dying every single day. So I rethink a lot of those things. Mm-hmm. I don't know if the fun that we gonna have for this moment might be worth being caught up in one of these situations.
Absolutely, man. We have priorities as parents, as members of society, that there's things we have to take care of. So,
right.
Yeah, there's certain risks that we can't really put ourselves into. So, again, prayers to those involved. Hope that anybody that is holding on is able to pull through.
1,000%.
Prayers to those that have lost lives and family members.
Yeah.
Again, we never plan for those kind of situations to come about and happen. So
ever. You never think it's going to happen to you.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing. You never think it's going to happen to you. So absolutely condolences to those who have lost their lives and the families associated with them. It is a terrible thing.
1,000%. Is there anything else that you can think of that you want to get into?
There was one thing. There was a story I wanted to tell.
Okay. Oh, yeah. The Venmo story, right?
So this is a cautionary tale.
Okay.
Of you should really check before you send somebody some money on Venmo that you're sending it to the right person.
Okay.
And the reasoning for it.
Okay.
So for the purposes of embarrassment, I'm not going to say this person's name. Not my embarrassment. I'm fine.
Okay.
But I was minding my own business.
That's my favorite way to start any story, man.
I was minding my own business, and I got a random Venmo transfer. 2 of them, actually.
Okay.
And one of them was for $250.
Okay.
Did not recognize the person's name.
Okay.
It's like, all right, that's weird. There was no description on the $250.
Okay.
It's like, all right, cool. And then hold on. Let me see. Then about 10 minutes later,
okay,
I got another Venmo payment for $50.
Okay.
So this one did have a description in it. And the description was private.
Meaning?
It means that the world couldn't see what the reasoning was for you sending me this money. So I read the description, and the description said condoms and lube. What the fuck is going on?
Fam, what?
I immediately screenshot it and sent it to my wife. It was like, yo.
In case you see something. I don't know what this is about. I'm trying to get ahead of it. I'm gonna let you know what's going on right now.
So she calls me. She's like, "What the fuck is that?" I said, "I don't know." So the 250. So when the 250 came, there was actually we were actually in the middle of a transaction, and I thought that's what the 250 was, and I was like, "All right, you kind of jumped the gun because like we didn't agree to sell you this shit."
Right.
So that's what I thought the 250 was.
Okay.
Because we were selling some stuff, and I had final say on it. I was like, nobody's fucking talking to me, so why the fuck you send me money?
Right.
And then when I got the second one and it said condoms and lube, I said, all right, time out.
Yeah. Hold on. I need to get in contact with them.
So I say all that to say, if you're going to send somebody money on Venmo or any other platform for that matter,
right,
you should probably triple check with them that you have the right Venmo information.
Okay, I got you.
Because the way that these platforms work, once you hit send, that person has to send you the money back, and you have to hope that they're a good enough person to do so.
Yeah. Nah, I don't know, fam. I mean, it might not be used for condom and lube, but your $50 go get used.
So then I started asking myself the question, is this prostitution?
Yeah. Yeah, that might be a part of those kind of transactions.
I was like, all right. So sent the money back.
Okay.
The person never messaged me. I gave it 2 days because I wanted to see
what was going to happen.
All right, you gonna message me or nah?
Right, you gonna figure out that was the wrong person.
I think once they realized they sent it to the wrong person, it was like, all
right,
can't ask for my money back after that.
Yeah, I guess you kind of hope that. Well, you're a good dude for sending that back,
because I'm gonna ask questions.
Yeah, and they probably don't want to explain.
Yeah, no, they definitely didn't want to explain themselves. So
you're a good dude, man. You're a good guy.
Not that great. I got a good chuckle out of it.
Right.
So I just want to, let y'all know this cautionary tale.
Be careful.
Be careful who you. Make sure you send it to the right person, and you should probably never put in the description condoms and lube.
Right.
Pro tip: I make up some shit.
Right. That's fair.
Don't do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's the end of my story.
All right, I got you. Yeah, I didn't have anything along those lines. I think when we were talking about just the whole sending money thing, more so with people that you know, sometimes that shit feel good. You just be having a good day, and it's almost in the same realm of that pass it on kind of thing. When you're in the drive-through line, and it's like, yo, I want to pay for so and so's food.
I do that every now and
again. Yeah. So that stuff feels good, man. Sometimes for people who aren't used to it, and especially if it's women, obviously sometimes there might be a question mark of a random thing, but it'd be like, yo, hope your day's going smooth. I'm feeling great. This is for this. Mm-hmm. And you just move on. So having some context behind that stuff definitely helps a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I think that's all we got, man.
I agree.
This has been another episode of the
Gentlemen's Club Podcast.
You was ready for that one? You had the button right?
I had my hand on the button.
We'll be back, though.